Run! What's up, guys? It's Drackle, and I got this new set of power armor. This is part of the Modular Powersuits mod, I think it's called. And this thing looks fucking sweet. I mean, look at me. I'm like a robocop or some shit. Like, yeah. I got a plasma cannon, it shoots stuff, it blows stuff up. It's cool at killing mobs, but it's actually not terribly accurate. I just like doing that. So, hello, welcome back. It's been like a week or two since I uploaded anything. Been busy. But we're going to talk about the Modular Powersuits mod today. And the Modular Powersuits is probably one of my favorite mods in this pack. I know I keep saying that about like every mod in the pack, but it definitely gives you a lot of versatility, and it's something I really wish was sort of like a customizable armor system. I really wish it was in Minecraft vanilla, but of course that's what we have mods for. Anywho, so we're going to talk about it today. Starting out, it's first of all, it's a very expensive mod. There's a lot of resources that have to go into making the suits, but you can start out with it pretty early on. All you need basically is some iron and some basic materials. But the first thing you need to do when you're making the power suits is to get what's called a tinker table. And this is the tinker table. And it requires, I believe, an emerald. And I think that's the only big thing that's in it. So you need an emerald, machine frame, redstone, electrum. So it's not something you start out with on day one, but you can get to it pretty quickly. The emerald is usually the hardest thing to find. So, power suits. Do a little quick overview here. It's a helmet, chest plate, legs, boots, and a power fist. And the power fist is the most useful thing. It's like a customizable tool. And let's open up the tinker table here and take a look at this stuff. So, basically what we have here is you have like the armor frame itself. You can see here you have the power armor, chest plate, the helmet, the leggings, the boots, and the fist. And they're pretty easy to make. It's just a couple iron ingots and this wiring, which is just, I think, bronze. You can also make it like this, apparently. So it's not that difficult to make. You can start out with it pretty quickly. But the actual suit, these things, is just a shell. And once you have the shell, you have to put modules into it. And you put modules into it using the tinker table. Let's take a look through the modules here. Now, first of all, let's talk about the armor. The armor comes in different varieties. You have your basic stuff, which is like iron plating. It's very heavy. It's basically like an iron suit of armor, but if you put a lot of it on into your shell, into the suit, you're going to be very slow. So everything is sort of a trade-off between weight and mobility. Just about everything that you add adds weight, and also some of them add heat, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So you can start out with iron plating. And basically what you do is you just have the materials in your inventory and you click install, and that will install it into each piece of armor, and you have to do it for each one. Or none of them at all. You can pick how many pieces you put into, how many pieces of plating you put into each one. Right here I have diamond plating, which is the next one up. It's lighter, and it's better, but it's more expensive, obviously. And once you put the armor in, you can choose the thickness of the plating, and as you can see, if I drag it around, I get better armor, but it's also heavier, and that's a problem because the heavier you are, the slower you move. But you can customize it. So I would suggest that you don't start with the power armor until you have enough diamonds to put the diamond plating in, because if you use iron plating, you're not going to have very much armor, and you're going to be, or if you do, you're going to be very heavy, and it's not all that efficient. So that's what you start out with. Okay, so like I said, the first thing you want to do with this is install armor plating, so you actually have armor, because if you don't install any armor plating, you literally have no armor, and what's the point of wearing armor that doesn't give you any armor protection, right? But once you got that done, you can start messing around with a lot of the modules. Now, there are a lot of cool modules in here. I would suggest the first ones that you start out with would be the parachute. The parachute is very easy to make. And basically it slows your descent when you're falling. So I can just fall down here, come on, and then I can press shift and I won't take any damage. Oop, I actually fell all the way down there. I also have a jetpack. Yeah, this thing's awesome. So that's like one of the first ones to make, and it's actually very cheap. Another one that's fairly cheap is the shock absorbers, and the shock absorber does exactly what it sounds like. If you fall, it'll stop you from taking damage. And just like anything in here, you can customize how much damage you take. So I can drag it all the way over here, and it will consume more energy every time I fall, but it will reduce my damage like 100%. So that's a good one to start with. But you really want to start dealing with the Power Fist. Now the Power Fist sort of replaces most of the tools in Minecraft. For instance, I have a pickaxe module installed. I have a shovel, shears, an axe. What else do I got here? I got a grafter for getting saplings for my crossbred trees. Let's see, I got the diamond drill upgrade that lets me mine obsidian. Aqua Affinity, that's Skype. I wish people would stop Skyping me. Aqua Affinity, which lets you mine underwater without any penalty. That's really good. And the crafting bench. Now the crafting bench upgrade is really cool. So I can literally go to my Power Fist here, and I can hold down Shift, and I can cycle through all the different mods I have on this tool. So I have the crafting bench selected, and I can right click, and now I have a crafting bench right in my inventory. I don't have to go and plunk one down or have one around. So you can see I have railgun, plasma cannon, the Tinker Field module. This thing is cool. It shoots light sources at the wall, so you don't really need torches anymore, but I'm not sure. I think these last forever. They don't give you a ton of light, and they look really cool, but I'd still rather have torches. I don't know if these are going to cause lag. That's my concern. Shears. Oops. And that's pretty much all I have on this fist right now. Another thing you want to get like as soon as possible is this. It's called the Tinker Field module, I think, and it's basically a mobile tinker table. You can't do everything with it that you can do with a crafting bench, but you can like tune your tools, so to speak. Like I can overclock my pickaxe, for instance, because the more you overclock the pickaxe, the faster it harvests, but also the more energy it consumes. So if you don't want it to consume energy, you can update it on the fly, that sort of thing. And you can see it's pretty fast. It's like a diamond pick. So that's a really good one to have. And what else do we got here? So yeah, the first things you really want to do is get the crafting bench one, get the tinker module, the field one, and then get all your basic tools, your axe, your pickaxe, your shovel, that kind of thing. So you can replace all the tools that you normally use with this. There's also other things like a leaf blower. It knocks plants out of the ground and leaves off trees. I don't understand why I would want that. Flint and steel, so you can set fires. There's a whole bunch of really cool tools that you can add to this thing. It even has a torch placer, so you don't have to have a place in your inventory for torches. You can just carry them around inside the suit. Lightning summoner, you can summon lightning. Blade launcher, I think that actually just shears sheep at a distance. And railgun. Railgun is like one of the best possible weapons you can get. It's very expensive to use in terms of power, and it's expensive to make, but pew, pew, pew. It is really cool. It'll one-shot most mobs. Some mobs will take two, and you can shoot them at a very long distance. I basically use that as my main weapon now. But it is very expensive power-wise, so you don't want to start out with that. What else do I got in here? What was I going to talk about? Shit. Yeah. Oh, the melee assist. The melee assist, it basically just lets... it basically just turns the Power Fist into a sword. That's probably the first weapon you want to get. So this fist can replace all your tools, basically. Not only the axe, the pickaxe, the shovel, the shears, the hoe, but it also can be your sword. So it pretty much replaces everything I have in my inventory in terms of tools. The only trouble is some of the trees, and I think the Natura mod in this mod pack, they don't really work too well with the Power Fist. It doesn't really recognize them as wood, I think. So I usually carry an axe around with me just in case I run into those trees. Okay, so we talked about that. Now all these modules that you install in the suit require power. So that's kind of the downside to using the suits. If you run out of power, you can't use them anymore, or at least they're not very efficient if you do use them, if you don't have any power. So what you need to do is install a battery. So right here I have the Elite battery. It's the best battery that you can make, and it's very expensive. It uses the HV capacitor, which is made with energy cell frame and some wiring, so it's difficult to make, but you could put a battery in each one of these, but I found that in terms of weight, you're going to want to put one big battery in your suit rather than many batteries, because each battery has a fixed weight to start with. It starts at 2 kilograms, and then as you could tinker the size of the battery to get to right here. Like you can what am I trying to say? You can make the battery bigger using this thing, the dragging, sliding thing, but you can see the weight also increases. But I found that instead of putting a lot of batteries in it, like if I put a battery into the helmet, into the chest plate, etc., it's better just to have one battery and make it like maximum size instead of having many batteries because of the fixed weight. So far, I've found that like 3 million megajoules is perfectly fine. I don't really need any more than that because I have generators in it, and I'll talk about that in a second. Now, you don't have to put a battery in each one of them. The modules will use power from whatever piece has a battery in it, so you can just put a battery in, say, the chest plate, and then all the modules from all these different pieces will use that battery. So that's actually very convenient. And one of the first things you want to do is make the generators. And the generators will actually generate power from a variety of things, and it will keep your power topped off. Because if you don't have them, you're gonna run out of power very quickly, and it's actually very difficult to recharge this thing because it requires so much power. The two options you have to recharge the power suit modules is this energetic infuser, but it takes a long time. It takes a lot of energy just to recharge this, so you really don't want to use that unless you're like completely bone dry. Or you can use industrial craft to do it, but you need a lot of power for it to recharge, like ridiculous amounts of power. So you really want to get some generators in your suit to replenish power. And the two generators I currently have, I have the solar generator, which is like a solar panel helmet, and it will basically just generate power while I'm sitting around in the sun. And I also have, actually I think I have 3 generators. I have the, where is it? The kinetic generator, and I can literally, as I move around, as I walk around every 5 blocks, I think. Yeah, every 5 blocks I get power back, so that's very useful. And I have one more. What was it? It was the heat generator, I think. It's here somewhere. That's the cooling system. Where is it? I don't know where this thing is. Is it in my legs? No. It's in my boots. Okay, I don't know where the hell it is. But there's another generator that actually generates power from heat. And heat is a byproduct of some of the modules. For instance, if I use this railgun, whoops, you can see over here on the middle right of the screen next to the blue bar, you can see that lava looking texture, and that's actually heat. And if you get too much heat, you actually get set on fire, like that. But I have a cooling system installed to stop that from happening. Now, one thing, if you don't have any cooling systems and you have a lot of modules installed, if you go into a desert, you actually don't lose heat. You actually just keep gaining heat, and you'll get set on fire and die eventually. So you need to have a cooling system installed in the suit. And I have this one, the cooling system that cools down heat-producing modules quicker, and that keeps my my heat down, so I don't have to worry about going to deserts anyway. Or the water tank, which also will cool you down in like emergencies. So you can basically just get away with the cooling system, but that's a pretty essential thing to have. It is very expensive though. You need 4 eyes of the ender and a control circuit. So most of the things in this mod are really expensive, but they're really good. Some of the easier ones to make are like this uphill step assist. Now this is like one of the best things ever. Because you know when you're trying to climb stuff like this, you have to jump up. But with this, you don't have to jump up. You can just walk over it automatically, and that's very, very nice. So I have the jetpack. I have the parachute, the shock absorber. I also have the glider, so I can go up here and then I can fly forward by holding down shift. This thing is really cool. You can move around very quickly using this. Very, very good. And I don't think it takes any power. This is also a very good way to recharge power because it actually counts with the kinetic generator how far you go. It actually will regen your power. Pretty cool. Okay, so what else do we got in here? I also have Steam messages. I don't care if you won 9 games in a row. No, I don't. No, go away. No, go away. Okay, sorry. That's a Dota friend. Okay, so what was I talking about? I was talking about the Tinker armor suit. What else do we want to get? This is really cool, the water electrolyzer. This basically lets you mine and do stuff underwater without having to worry about anything, because it will recharge your air, so to speak, and it's very easy to make. That's like an absolute must. We also have night vision. Night vision is kind of a must also. It's a little bit expensive, but it's pretty easy to do. And it's also very useful. Another thing I want to talk about is the key binding system. Now this doesn't seem to save between times I've loaded Minecraft, so every time I load I have to do it again. But you can bind all your things to a key. So basically say you press new and I say I want to use the tilde key. It's called grave for some reason. And I want to bind my night vision to it. I just drag it over and I put it on this key. And there we go. Now I have night vision that's toggleable using that key. Toggle night vision off, toggle night vision on. Is it dark side? Is it dark outside? No, it's not dark outside. But I'll show you the difference by going to my quarries here. So night vision is on right now and it should turn itself off in a second. Come on. It's basically the potion effect, I think. Come on, turn itself off. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's night vision off, night vision on. So you can see it makes a big, big difference. I got my railgun trained on this guy over there. Pew! Is that not cool? Like, that is so cool. I love just shooting stuff at huge distances. Okay, so that's night vision. That's one of the better things to get. Though sometimes I forget to turn it off and I don't realize it's night and all of a sudden there's a creeper next to me, so that's a problem sometimes. What else we got? Binoculars. I really should install this, I just haven't got around to it. This will let you zoom in. There's a whole bunch of awesome things that you can put on this suit. An auto feeder that will feed you when you're hungry. You have to have food in your inventory though. Flight control. I really should get that. It's basically like creative mode, but I think it's kind of cheating because you can basically fly like you're in creative mode. And I don't really want to do that. What else do we got? I showed you the glider, the jetpack, and the parachute. I thought I killed you. Whatever. Magnets, active camouflage. That's really cool if you're on a multiplayer server. It makes you invisible. I don't have that installed because I'm playing single player, obviously. And I don't really care about the mobs. Sprint assist, that's actually very useful. Makes you sprint faster. Jump assist, makes the same deal. Swim boost, cool stuff. Once you get past the diamond plating stage, you can start making these energy shields, which basically don't have any weight to them. They directly drain power for every bit of damage you take. So that's the next thing you want to do, but they're really expensive. These force field emitters are super expensive to make. You can also have the Apurist armor, which lets you basically have a bee suit installed in your armor for crossbreeding bees, because bees are bad and they attack you sometimes. I actually made a bee the other day that actually shoots lightning, so I was very surprised when my cows all started getting set on fire. So play around with this. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Some are better for multiplayer stuff, some are better for other things. But that's a pretty good overview of the modular armor system. and I'm going to be continuing to use it in the future. I still have to install a lot of these modules. I haven't really got around to it, but I think that gives you a pretty good overview of the mod, and it's something that you should definitely work for. So I think I'm going to end the episode there, just a quick one. Next time we're going to be talking about the power grid I have set up that I use to power all my machines. And I think after that we're probably going to talk about bees, bee breeding, beekeeping, and I think we'll probably start with some Thaumcraft magic after that. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. So this is Drackle signing off.